Shavua Tov b'Shem Hashem Naseh v'Natzliach. May the lecture that we do today, the learning of the Torah that we do today, may it be in the merit of Klal Yisrael as a whole. Today's lecture is a little bit sensitive. Now, it's not going against a specific type of people or a specific type of person. What do I mean is, as we'll see about time when I start doing the lecture, we'll try to see what I mean. But what we want to try to discuss today is, Baruch Hashem, when you look today in the way that we're serving God versus the way that we are with people, is two different worlds. When it comes ben Adam le makom, between a person and Hashem, a person's avodat Hashem is in that category. He's much better off than when it comes ben Adam le chaveru, when it comes between a man and his fellow men. Now it can be husband to wife, wife to husband, parents to children, employees, employers, Rabotai, doesn't matter. It's all around. I'm not going to pick on anyone specific, Chas v'Shalom, Rabotai, but our Ben Adam Lechaveru is lacking very much when it comes to actually respecting and trying to help another Jew. And I'll show you what I mean, Rabotai, I'll show you what I mean in Parsha Shemini. Rabbi Shapiro brought this point down in the Chumash and Rashi, and he brought also down Harava, Gaon Baruch Mordechai. Ezrach also brought down his father, Mordechai, Shapiro Zatal. Rabotai, look at these Gedolim, look what these Gedolim say. It's not normal that, how is it possible that we have B'li Ein Har, so many yeshivot that no eye has ever seen before? We have a lot of learning Torah, there's a lot of tzedakah, there's a lot of avodat Hashem that's been going on, a lot. When you look at it, you have the Chesed Fund, you have when they try to make any raise, people are out there to help. When it comes to avodat Hashem, when it comes to Torah mitzvot, we're at the top line of trying to do it to the best of our ability. Right now, Pesach is coming up. People started cleaning. People started, they one time said from one gadol, I forgot. I honestly forgot his name. He said, when it comes to the government, they say a person is not allowed to have drugs or certain type of weed, whatever it might be. People try to hide it. People try to still do it without the government knowing. But when Hashem says that no chametz should be found in our possession, even the most secular Jew, Rabotai, you go to his house, he has no chametz in his house. So this rabbi said, he was finding favor in the Jewish people. He says, look at your Jewish people, how much they love you, how much they want to serve you. So what am I trying to bring out? When it comes to the service of Hashem, we're there, we want to do it, we want to be able to give it everything we got, to the best of our abilities, and about that, there's always room for growth, but I'm just trying to bring out, when it comes Ben Adam L'Chavero, how are we when it comes to Ben Adam L'Chavero? Rabotai, I was one time, it was very cold. It was one winter. Again, I might have been wrong 100%, whatever the situation might be. I'll tell you the whole thing. Early in the morning, Baruch Hashem, I get opportunity to go to the mikveh, but it was like those cold nights where my shampoo and my body wash, they froze. Like literally, they became ice because they were in the car overnight. So when I went to the mikveh, again, I was the only one there. So what I ended up doing is, I actually put it under running hot water. So another guy walked in right after me, a very, very religious guy. And I knew he was going to say something. I was just hoping he doesn't say anything. I knew he was going to attack me. And that's exactly what happened. Like literally 30 seconds later, he says, what are you doing? Are you out of your mind? You're wasting the hot water. You don't know that other people have to come in. He's right. There's other people that have to use it, but I didn't just let the water run. He just didn't even see what I was doing because I was already in the mikvah and the shower was hitting my shampoo and my body wash. The hot water was going on it, so it can actually defrost by the time I come down. Meaning by the time I come out of the mikvah. When I did actually come out, and he actually ended up taking it off. He didn't know why it was on. In the end, I just told him, I said, listen, I do apologize. It was it was no hard feeling. But I told him that I had over there my shampoo and my body wash, which I needed to defrost. In a way, I saw that he felt bad that he yelled at me, but still he didn't want to admit his mistake. Rabotai, why am I trying to tell you? So it was okay. Again, I'm not saying what I did was okay. I just needed to defrost. I think any normal human being would want to try to defrost their shampoo and their body wash. How else am I supposed to take a shower? But Rabotai, was it more important? Because it was not even long. It was a little, like maybe a minute, if not less. Was it more important to go ahead and try to scream at me and try to say, what are you doing? And I mean, he used not nice words. Then this water, do you think water has feelings? And you went ahead and you attacked, whatever it was, you went ahead and you attacked me, no problem. One case, Rabotai. Ended up, me and one of my boys, he was looking for a certain Gemara. We ended up going to Brooklyn. We ended up in one bookstore, I don't want to say exactly the place. I don't want people to catch on. We went over there. There were two Hasidim, one over here and then one over there. And I didn't know that there was another guy inside. Literally, I did not know. So I'm asking them, do you have the Gemara? Right? Talmud Bavli, Halacha Birur, Bibur Halacha. My son showed it to me. He wanted it, so I said I have to get it. When it comes to Torah, you never want to hold anything back from the kids, whatever. I made my business to drive out there, etc. So he screams, says, we don't have it. Okay. So my wife, now she's coming out of the car with the other kids. And now I'm like, do you have the Talmud Bavli? So he screams again, we don't have it. So the problem with me was, I saw guy number one standing over here, like literally 10 feet away from me. And the other guy was standing maybe about 20 or 30 feet away from me. So I'm looking at both of them and I'm not understanding who's telling me we don't have it. So I got that they don't have it, but I'm not registering who's speaking because not one of them is speaking. Because I didn't know there was another guy inside in the office that was working. So then I said, because I'm not, I'm trying to understand it. I said, do you guys have this Gemara? So he says, I told you we don't have it. And then he went off on a rant. Okay. My wife comes out, she's like, why is everyone screaming? Like, why is he screaming? So when I went back into the car, I told my son, I try to educate my kids, not chasson Rabotai, to, God forbid, bring another Jew down, no Rabotai. But I try to show that this is not the way we behave. Maybe he was upset, maybe his day was not going good, but I'm just trying to bring out, we need to be very careful when it comes to Ben Adam L'Chaver. And there's many, many more cases like this. Rabotai, each and every one of us goes through these cases. Again, I'm not judging the people. But as parents, especially when you're with your children, and you see a person smoking, whatever it is, Rabotai, if a person needs to smoke, let him smoke. But we have every right to educate our children and say that this is wrong, that this is not healthy, because how else are they going to know? Or Rabotai, the other way around, when you see a woman who's not dressed in ease, you got to inform your daughters that yes, she might be right with the mitpachet on her head, and unfortunately everything might be short and everything might be open, and the daughter looks and she says, but she's religious, so automatically she understands that this is the way you have to dress. Again, you have to go and try to educate again. Each one to his own. I don't know the people, I'm not judging the people, but we need to educate our children in which way they have to go. Because if we're not going to say, they're going to look and they're going to think these people are religious and what they're doing is right, and then it's going to come back and fall on us. Now, Rabotai, what I do want to bring down over here from Rabbi Shapir, that this one, he brought down all these pieces over here. I want to show in Parshat Shemini that when it comes to Ben Adam L'Makom versus when it comes to Ben Adam L'Chavero are two different worlds, Rabotai. The way we serve when it comes to Ben Adam L'Makom, we want to try to do that when it comes to Ben Adam L'Chaver. I'll show you what I mean. And I'll show you, Rabotai, sometimes it's not, I don't want to say even sometimes, maybe all the time it's worth it to, take away that shame from a person, that pain from a person, that distress that a person is going through, just to make him feel good, Rabotai. And I'll show you what I mean. In Parshat Shemini, in Perek Tet, in Pasuk Chav Bet and Pasuk Chav Gimel, the Pasuk says like this: Vayisa Aharon et Yadav, and Aharon lifted his hands, El Ha'am, to the nation, Vayivarechem, and he blessed them, Vayered me'asod hachatat v'ha'olah. And he came down from bringing the sin offering and the burnt offering. V'hashalomim and the peace offering. Fine. That's what Aharon HaKohen did. Vayavo Moshe v'Aharon el ohel moed. Rabotai, this pasuk is very troubling. Moshe and Aharon came into the tent of meeting. Vayetzu, and they came out, meaning both of them. Vayivaruchu, and they blessed et ha'am, and they blessed the nation. Vayer'a kavod Hashem el kol ha'am, and the glory of Hashem was shown to the whole nation. Now, Rabotai, we need to understand what's going on. In Pasuk Chav Bet, it says clearly that Aaron raised his hands and he blessed the nation and he came down from bringing the Karbanot. But then in Pasuk Chav Gimel, it says Moshe and Aaron went back into the tent of meeting and they both came out and they both blessed, and only then did the glory of Hashem came down, where the people were able to see basically the Shekhinah. Rabotai, Rashi asks on the spot, Lama nichnusu? I say, I don't understand. This whole thing was up to Aaron. It was nothing to do with Moshe Rabbeinu. Everything had to do with Aharon. It was up to Aharon to bring the sacrifices. Because we're going to see, Rabotai, that the whole thing over here was because the Jewish people wanted to see that if they were being forgiven for the golden calf. Moshe Rabbeinu had nothing to do with the golden calf. But why did Moshe enter back with Aharon the second time and only then to come out and bless the nation? So Rashi says, Lama nichnusu, why did they both enter back in? So look what Rashi says. Rashi gives two shots, two understanding. I'm going to go with the second one. He says like this, Kevan shera'a Aharon shikarvu kol ha'karbanot. Since Aharon saw that all the karbanot, all the sacrifices were brought up, the chatat, the sin offering, the burnt offering, and the peace offering, V'nasu kol ha'masim, and they did everything. They did the sprinkling of the blood, everything that needed to be done when you're dealing with the sacrifices. Here we go, Rabotai. V'lo yarda shechina li Israel, and the Shekhinah did not come down to the Jewish people. Haya mista'er, Aharon was pained. Now he started having remorse. V'amar, and Aharon said, Yodeya ani, he says, I know, Sheka'as HaKadosh Baruch Hu alai, Hashem is angry with me. Ubishvili lo yarda shechina leIsrael, and because of me, because when Abraham, even though he didn't have a direct hand in the golden calf, but the fact that he was quiet, he felt that he was responsible. So he says, it's because of me that the Shekhinah is not coming down to the Jewish people. Amar lo leMoshe, here we go, Rabotai. Highlight this, write it, print it, put it out. Look how important this is. Amar lo leMoshe, Rabotai, Aharon went and he said to Moshe Rabbeinu, Moshe achi, Moshe my brother, Kach asitali, this is what you did to me. You told me to go inside to bring the karbanot, and when I come out, the Shekhinah is going to come down, so the Jewish people can see that we are still Hashem's nation. He says, Kach asitali, this is what you did to me. Shenichnasti v'nitbayashti. He says, I entered, and now I am ashamed. Rabotai, one more time. Shenichnasti, I entered, I did as you said. V'nitbayashti, but now I am ashamed. Now I am embarrassed because I did everything that I had to do, and the Shekhinah didn't come down. Now the Jewish people are looking at me the wrong way. Rashi says, miyad, immediately. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't think two times. Miyad nichnas Moshe imo. Immediately Moshe Rabbeinu entered back again with Aharon. Ubikishu rachamim, and they davened to Hashem, they prayed to Hashem that He bring down His honor. V'yarda shechina leIsrael. Rabotai, immediately he says, the Shekhinah came down to the Jewish people. Something is not right. 2 points. That's brought down by Harav Gaon Baruch Mordechai Ezrachi Zechrena Kodesh L'Racham. He says, 1 second. We have over here 2 things that should happen. Aharon HaKohen brought all the karbanot. He did everything that needed to be done. And the Shekhinah didn't come down. But why is it when Moshe went back inside with his brother, automatically, or all of a sudden, The Shekhinah comes down. What happened? What changed? Rabotai, so he says like this. He says, what brought down? Well, first of all, let me say the other point first. He says because Moshe Rabbeinu, when he saw the pain and he saw the shame that his brother was going through, he said, I cannot allow my brother to go through further humiliation, through further shame, through further pain. I'm not going to allow, I'm going to go in, but you, Moshe, have nothing to do with the golden calf. You have nothing, it doesn't matter. He says, I'm going to make sure that my brother is not going to go through the pain. And he went and they started down to Hashem that the Shekhinah can come down. So Aharon HaKohen will not have that shame and that pain. Rabotai, pay close attention. What Aharon HaKohen did was Ben Adam Limakom. He brought the Karbanot to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Shekhinah didn't come down. But what Moshe Rabbeinu did was Ben Adam Lechavero. He went and he was concerned about his brother. And the Shekhinah came down. Rabotai, sometimes we can do mitzvot and we can learn Torah. But if we're not human beings, how much does that count? I'm not taking it away, Rabotai. If anybody knows, I'm a very big advocate for learning Torah, for doing mitzvot, for avodat Hashem. I am, Rabotai. But if your avodat Hashem is where you are learning and davening and doing mitzvot, and you have no respect for the other Jew, what kind of avodat Hashem are you? Who are you serving? Because that same God that you're serving when you're davening wants you to love your other Jew. It says clearly, Rabotai, you have to love your friend like you love yourself. We have that, Rabotai. We don't have that today. But we have everything else. Yes, we do have everything else. But we have to work on this. We want to bring the Mashiach. Rabotai, Rabbi Akiva, 24,000 students. You think they didn't have Torah? They had Torah. But where was the respect towards one another? This is what Rabbi Mordechai Ezrachi is telling us over here. What Moshe was able to do, Ben Adam Lechaver, Ben Adam Makom was not able to do. The Kabbalah were not able to bring down the Shekhinah. But him coming, feeling that pain that his brother was going through, not causing him another shame. Further shame. That's what brought down the Shekhinah. And that's what Rabotai comes, Rabbi Shapiro, and he says his father, in the name of his father, Rav Mordechai Shapiro, Zechron HaKadosh L'Vracha, and he says, how small you are and how great you are is determined by your Ben Adam L'Chavero. And what's his proof? If we look into Parsha Shemot in Perek Bet, in Pasuk Yud Aleph, ויהי בימים ההם ויגדל משה ויצא אל אחיו ויראה בסבלותם וירא איש מצרי בהכה איש עברי מאחיו. I want to just focus on 5 words, Rabotai. ויגדל משה ויצא אל אחיו. And Moshe grew, we know that Moshe grew up, and then ויצא אל אחיו, and then he went out to his brothers. We know that he grew up in the house of Paro, and then he went out to his brothers. Rabotai, Rav Mordechai Shapiro Zechron HaKadosh L'Vracha says, he says, do you know what does it mean? Vayigdal Moshe, Vayitze El Achav. Don't learn it that he grew up in Paro's house and then he went out to his brothers. No. What made Moshe Rabbeinu great is because he went out to his brothers. He saw their pain. What makes a person great is when you go out to your brothers, Rabotai, when you're able to feel their pain, when you're able to take away their shame. And this is why I said in the beginning of the class, I'm not going on anyone in particular. I don't want to say, but I'm going to have to say it. I'm not speaking specifically about women, the way they treat their husbands, non-stop they bash them. I'm not going to speak about Rabotai, the husbands, the way they treat their wives. No, Rabotai, everybody knows where they have to be, where it has to be fixed. But Rabotai, we go down, Shachari bin Charavit, we learn Torah, we do mitzvot. And then we come home, or she, Rabotai, she wears the mitpachet and she's fully dressed from head to toe. But how's she treating her husband? Or we, Rabotai, as parents, we do try everything, Pesach, but we make our children into karbanot. Rabotai, you have the Ben Adam L'Makom, fine, but where's your Ben Adam L'Chavero? We want Mashiach to come. We want Mashiach to come when we treat people like garbage. We want Mashiach to come when we look down on people, when we speak down on people. When we see another Jew being embarrassed, we don't even get up and do anything about it. Rabotai, it's not only Moshe and his brother. This applies to every single person, every single Jew. Kol Yisrael Arevim Zel Lezeh. Every single Jew is a guarantor for the next. You see a brother, he doesn't have a seat in the shul, you get up. Rabotai, I don't want to tell you, I went to a certain shul one time. Oh, you didn't buy the seat? We can let you into Davening, whatever it was, Rosh Hashanah, I don't know what the... Is that, Rabotai, for $101, you're going to kick out another Jew? Is that how you go about things? Rabotai, if you see another Jew feeling pain, feeling shame, feeling distressed, you get up and you do something about it. How small and how great you are is determined by your Ben Adam Lechavero. Vayigdal Moshe vayitze el achav. Moshe became great. Put that peshat, because he went out to his brothers and to see how they were being paid by the Egyptians.